Hello and welcome back to another Star Citizen video. Oh boy, this today's video is gonna be a little bit interesting. Took quite a while for me to get what I want to or how I want to present it. Okay, so today's topic, or rather this video's topic, is about talking ship, especially for the upcoming IAE or Intergalactic Aerospace Expo 2955. I'm gonna call it the fleet shuffle, or this basically fleet shuffle, fleet rework, redo your whole fleet kind of thing. Because every anniversary sale so far, that's where I reshuffle my fleet. That literally fleet shuffle. I will drop certain ships, I will bring in certain ships, I will reevaluate some ships that I want to, and then of course the biggest thing is I'll put it straight out, right? If I can own every ship in the verse, sure, but obviously I don't want to spend that kind of money. Okay, straight up, I don't want to spend that kind of money. If I get it for free, yes. If not, this is mainly for those who want to spend with real money, because I would literally cherry pick. Like, if I were to spend real money, these are the few ships that I would like to have it in my fleet. That's it. Okay, and let's start off with, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification button, and help this channel grow. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and if I earn your subscription, awesome. If not, you can let me know down in the comments below as well. And of course, we're going to talk a lot about ships, but not too much, because it's going to be a long talk. So in this case, I'm going to just reserve to the ships that I want to keep and reshuffle in my fleet for 2955, or for this year 2025 up till next year. Whew. Okay, PSA number one is you do not need to buy any of this shit with real money. All you need is a starter pack, and that's about it. That's really it. Okay, and of course you can get a cheap starter pack right now, which is good. It is the Duelist CitizenCon starter pack at $56.25. You get basically everything you need to start, with also a head start, because the Avenger Titan is the best starter ship out there. Yeah, no, that's it. It is the best starter ship, bar none. Although the price to jump in is $56. The cheapest right now is $40.50, and we're gonna go through some of those ships as well. Obviously, this is more beginner friendly kind of ship ship talk, because we are not gonna go through bigger ships that requires multi-crew. I'm gonna put a requirement as well. I will not talk any ship that requires multi-crew, like mandatory multi-crew, and no pilot control weapons. I would touch a little bit, but I won't go too deep into it. That would be my my limitation for today's this video's talk. So there we go. All right, let's begin. And I'm gonna use not Fleet Viewer. I'm gonna use hangar.link. I'm gonna put the link down the description so you guys can play around as well. I like this type of visualization, because it would help me a lot on planning my ship, planning my fleet, planning my ship. All right, so we're gonna start off with the starter pack, and I do own these two ships, the Aurora MR and the Mustang Alpha Vindicator. Now, this is the main reason why I collect only CitizenCon skin, because the Mustang Alpha Vindicator has a CitizenCon exclusive. Look at that. Awesome. All right. And these are the two cheapest starter ship package that you can pick up: the Aurora MR, if not the Vindicator, but the Mustang Alpha. So basically these two ships over here. I'm gonna delete this guy just for simplicity. Yeah, that's it. All right. And of course, honorable mention, the one that I will always not say always, that I always talk about, is the Avenger Titan. Now, the Titan will not be in my fleet, because I have other ships that will replace the Avenger Titan. And before we go to that part, for those who don't want to spend too much money, because we're going to go through a territory where you can have an optional crew, all right? So the Nomad is the next best ship out there to have. If that is not a starter ship and not a multi-crew ship, right? So the Nomad can do everything the Avenger Titan can and better because it can carry a vehicle. It is small enough for you to play to fly around, and it's not too big because the next one would be the Cutlass Black. And the Cutlass Black is my go-to daily driver until no, it did not change until the Cutlass Red. Yeah. So because of the introduction of Cutlass Red, the Cutlass Black, basically I don't really need it anymore. So this is basically my entry hangar. Mustang Alpha, Aurora MR, Avenger Titan, best starter ship. So I'm gonna put it here just for what do you call this? Honorable mention. Then we're gonna move on to a little bit combat. All right. Before we go to combat, we're gonna go for daily driver. So I'm gonna put a note over here. We're gonna call this my daily driver. Now, before we go to my daily driver, there's a few ships I would like to talk about that I've gone through a few times, and I think this is the best option for me. Maybe for you as well. Maybe. All right, and obviously we're gonna start off with the Nomad, and because of Cutlass Black is just way better than Nomad, and the Cutlass Black it doesn't really need a what do you call this, a co-pilot, not a co-pilot. It doesn't really need a co-pilot to fully utilizes its full DPS, but it is nice to have. However, the Cutlass Red is a better selection compared to the Cutlass Black because you remove the turret. However, you did and will sacrifice some cargo space for a respawn bait, right? A tier 3 medical bait, right? The lowest tier. And this is literally a solo pilot solo ship, right? Because you remove anything else that like co-pilot and whatnot, and then you replace it with a what do you call this, medical bed, less as cargo space, unfortunately. Unfortunately, however, we have a all right, so there we go, Cutlass Red. So I kick off this too, and then we have another shiny new kit on the block, and that is the C1 Spirit. The C1 Spirit comes in quite heavily favored, and it is a nice slick ship. Now the biggest difference between these two, all right, if we don't use the Cutlass Red, we're going to use the Cutlass Black. All right, we're going to put the black here, is that the Spirit has a very nice position for this tracker beam and cargo space. Very, very nice, right? So this guy literally just outrank, not say outrank, literally just cut down Cutlass Black. Even Freelancer can't even compete with it anymore, right? The base Freelancer. Even Freelancer Max, you know what? I'm gonna call out Freelancer Max is one of the go-to smaller cargo haulers out there. Unfortunately, the Hall series is just way superior. Like any of the Hall series is just superior if you just want to run cargo. But if you want to run as your daily driver, then yeah, can't run away. The C1 Spirit literally just takes the cake so far. And then we got the Zeus. The Zeus comes in clutch. Yeah, especially the CL. Now, the good part is that the Zeus does not replace the C1 Spirit outright, because it both function almost the same, but it does replace the Cutlass Black and Freelancer, technically, right? In general, but still, I still like the Cutlass Black. The Freelancer does fly a little bit more sluggish, so if you want to go for the Freelancer series, most likely it's gonna be the Max. So I'm gonna remove this guy because of these two ships. Yeah, a lot of medium-sized ship I don't need to bother in general. Like I don't really need it anymore. The Cutlass Red, I will still put it in the pool for now. All right, this is not in my hangar. This is currently in consideration if I need any of them. However, I am anticipating on this particular ship. It is the Zeus Mark II MR. Now, the Zeus Mark II MR has one thing better than compared to any of this ship right now, and that is EMP and quantum dampener. That's right, we are moving a little bit more to the combat section, because for daily driver, as much as I like these three ships, most likely I will not have the C1 Spirit. Go away. Zeus Mark II CL, I don't need it for sure, because if I don't need the C1 Spirit, I really don't need the Mark II, Zeus Mark II for sure. Cutlass Raid is still debatable whether I can want to keep it in my hangar, but we're going to talk about medical later, because we're going to enter to the combat section. Right, and for combat section, again, big disclaimer, I only talk about ships that has pilot control weapon. So with the Zeus Mark II MR, we have QD, quantum dampener, and EMP. And guess what? The closest competitor prior, right, is actually there's none. There's no ship that actually come close with the Zeus Mark II MR other than the Scorpius Antares. Other than this guy. That's about it. Yeah, that's about it. And obviously the Scorpius Antares is smaller than the Zeus Mark II MR, so that's the only thing that we can compete like head to head in general. So yeah, because other than that, there's only a handful of combat ships out there that I can really not say recommend, but like those are my go-to recommendation ships. So start off with obviously the Gladius. Right, so we're gonna go up here first. All right, so the Gladius is my go-to, my first, in fact, the first combat ship if you want to get into Gladius straight up. All right, other ships out there is nice and great, but Gladius is my go-to recommendation, followed by the Saber. I'm going to bring up Saber Combat because it's cool, and the Super Hornet. I'm going to bring out the Heartseeker as well. So there we go. And then from here, these are mainly for more these are not say dedicated. These three ships, or rather these medium and light ships, it is a great practice ship. I'm going to use the light ship first. Gladius is a great practice ship for PvP, hands down, because if you want more speed, go for the Arrow. You want to get more pew pew and DPS, go for the Buccaneer. You want a bit more exotic, Car2Owl. There's so many things you can do, right? I would no, I would even put Car2Owl here. The only difference is Car2Owl is super expensive. If I'm not mistaken, almost twice the price as the Gladius, and because it's alien, makes no sense to own this ship, really. All right, so yeah, this is a very nice high agility light fighter, very nice, right? So I'll put this aside because this is mainly a extra. All right, so there we go. Saber Combat, Saber, and then of course we have other Saber series as well. We have the Saber Firebird. Peregrine is more racing, so I'm gonna avoid that. Raven is an EMP ship. I'm gonna put here just for the funsies, but truth to be told, if you want to get Saber Raven, actually you cannot get it anymore. And for real money, it's mainly for people who owns the Intel SSD. I don't know if you can still buy it, but I'm not gonna put I won't say a guarantee that you will get it. Okay, I'll just put that out. So I'm gonna delete because it requires you to buy other item, so that's not cool. And let's see what other ships out there that can fit here. I think there's a few more, but I don't want to go through all of them because combat ships, there's a lot more others. Because I think unfortunately, Scorpius is a co-pilot. You need a co-pilot to get its full DPS. And if I want to go for co-pilot, I'll bring out the Hurricane as well. Because this is the go-to two ships. No, not the Antares. Yeah, there we go. So these are the two go-to ships if you want to have more like a pilot, co-pilot type of thing. Obviously, the Scorpius Antares, not Scorpius Antares. The Scorpius is a little bit more cooler, whereas the Hurricane packs much more punch. All right. And of course, I'm gonna go and say this. All right. I would not compare the DPS number. I will only compare with its weapon hard point. That's it. If I were to compare ships, it's only weapon hard points, and because you can change to scattergun, which is close range, high DPS type. You want to change to long range sniping. Let's see how it goes for that. And talking about long range sniping, you have the Defender, which I had lots and lots of fun. The Defender is technically a solo and co-pilot ship, so it's like halfway. Technically, you can put it up here, but it's more of a halfway ship, and it's big. The downside of the Defender is just way too big compared to other combat ships out there. So it's nice when it has this old Tachyon. Was it Tachyon? It's sniping hit scan weapon, but they change it a little bit. They have to change it. So yeah, that's that. And of course we have the Apollo. So I'm gonna no Apollo, not the Apollo. I keep forgetting this guy, the Terrapin. But the Terrapin is a different type of ship, so we're not gonna go there. It's this, we are talking about combat first. So we move these guys, go to recommendation. Then we got our pilot co-pilot, but I will not have it in my fleet because it's again pilot co-pilot. So I end up with this 3 selection. And if I were to keep one ship out of this, unfortunately I cannot keep. I don't want to keep too many combat ships because there are a few combat ships out there that I would like to have. I would actually keep the Super Hornet instead. The Super Hornet is the first ship that I flew in the verse during the free fly event, and as much as other shiny ships out there, I will only keep this ship. Yeah, the rest I have to drop. Unfortunately, we have also another ship, right, which is the Stinger. Now we are going to enter to a heavy fighter side, which is mostly the king of PvE, and I've been talking this a lot as well. Okay, so let me bring up now. Let's remove this guys. Let's start off with the king of PvE first, which is the the Vanguard Sentinel. This is the king of PvE for me. However, obviously, we need to mention the F8 Lightning. The downside is the F8 Lightning, you cannot buy. No, you have to buy outright. You cannot buy or you cannot upgrade to. So the F8 Lightning, I've made a decision is that if I cannot get under the sticker price, I will not consider. Yeah, as much as the F8 Lightning is superior in all the PvE ships and PvP ships so far, yeah, I could not say I could not recommend it, but I could not get it cheaper, so therefore I could not put it in my hangar. Because I can get the Vanguard Sentinel way cheaper than its sticker price. Right? I can't. Not with F8C Lightning. Love to have it, but I can't. Alright, so with that, Vanguard Sentinel, and then of course there is another shiny new ship that came up recently, and that is the Guardian. Namely the Guardian Chi. We have a few variants, but I'm going to bring up the Guardian Chi first. Right, the Guardian Chi has a quantum dampener. The Vanguard Sentinel has a EMP. So these two is tied. I would say if you want to go a bit more PvP-esque, Guardian. If you want to do more PvE related, Sentinel. Now, just because they have EMP and what do you call this, a quantum dampener, of course we still have the base version, which is the Guardian and the Warden, straight up. Right, these are the base variant. And if we want to compare to base variant, right, let's put this aside. Then if you have a friend that you want to that will tag along from time to time, Vanguard Warden. If you don't, not say you don't have a friend to tag along, you just want to do mostly solo, Guardian. Not to say that the Warden can't do solo, but the Warden does output a little bit more DPS when you have a gunner, and both ship does the job for PvE content without issue in general. So those are my go-to king. Yeah, And of course, if you want to do more PvE related EMP is always fun, that's for sure. Quantum dampener, not really. So that's why this two ship is like, it will fight. But F8C Lightning will stand supreme. And because of that, if I want to keep a combat ship, it would be either the Vanguard Sentinel, and in this case, might as well just put the Guardian Chi in. Alright. Either these two, F8C Lightning, I could not. However, that will change with the Zeus Mark II MR because I have Quantum Dampener and I have EMP. And obviously, very straightforward. Zeus will fly, definitely. It has to fly a little bit less maneuverability than the Guardian. Straight up, the Guardian is still the best maneuverability for a heavy fighter if you don't want to bring out a Santok Yai, but Santok Yai is not a heavy. The Santok Yai is a medium. Hold on. Let me double check. Because I think the Guardian is a medium. Yeah, I don't think it changes in interdiction combat, no. Because I don't think the Guardian reach heavy status. And if it doesn't hit heavy status, then not say my opinion change. Oh, it's heavy fighter. Alright, yeah. Because I was thinking it's medium, but it's definitely not medium, so that's unfortunate. Alright, so heavy fighter, silence attack, we're gonna talk about that later. Aegis Sentinel, it's a heavy fighter. One is size 3. Okay, now okay, size 2, the size. Alright, so Guardian is a smaller size, that's why I say it's supposed to be much more agile. Whereas the Sentinel, it's a little bit sluggish, but then again, if you compare to paper, it's not that far of a difference. So with that being said, the Zeus Mark II MR, in order to balance out a little bit, Santok Yai is a medium, so we cannot compare. I would say it should fly not so great in a way, but at the same time, I don't want the nerf. I want the Zeus Mark II MR to replace these two ships straight up. Alright, that's my goal. So for now, I'm gonna just keep it here, like this. And if I were to choose, actually, you know what? If I would to really choose the Warden, the Warden is cheaper than Sentinel. I think. Oh no, Guardian Chi it's cheaper. Oh no. Yeah. Here we go. Done. I would keep the Guardian Chi. Sentinel Warden, because it's much pricier, so I will just keep it aside. This would be the current daily combat. So I'm gonna put a new word here. I'm still gonna put the Zeus Mark II MR as the daily potential. We just need to see some stats. If not, then the stats will change. I mean, the fleet will change next year. That's the fun bit. So combat. Alright, I'm gonna do combat daily, or rather, yeah, combat daily, just for that. Sure, the Heartseeker is here, we can put it here, but because Guardian Chi is just way better than the F7CM, so done. And last but not least, because from here we're gonna end our combat talk, is the Stinger. Now the Stinger is an alien ship, it's an heavy fighter, and the fun bit is that yes, you can outfit more DPS when you change the guns. Like I said, if you change the guns, everything will change. But for now, let's stay with the stock Guardian, size 5. Again, we don't care about the weapon that is equipped. Sentinel, size 5. And then for size 2, that's the reason why I picked the Guardian over the Vanguard in general. However, the Vanguard does come with a man turret, which is cool. However, this new ship does dethrone them almost. I still keep them as number 2-ish, or number 3. Where's Isperia? And that is the Isperia Stinger. The Isperia Stinger has size 4, size 2, and one size 5, but this size 5 is bespoke, so I'm not saying I'm not gonna consider it, but you can't change out. So the weapon is gonna be a little bit interesting. And obviously, there are people who point out if I were to change all the weapons to the highest DPS, it will outperform, technically, it will outperform the Guardian, which is true, right? Which is true. However, the downside is the maneuverability. The Stinger has terrible maneuverability compared to the Guardian and the Warden. So even though you can pack a punch, the Guardian will just outmaneuver you. Yeah. Yes, if you get to hit it, yes, it's super painful. All right, I'm not gonna lie, and I will admit, if you get a shot, a volley from a Stinger, yeah, it is a pain. That's it. And if we were to compare to signature, we don't care about the signature anyway, so that's that. And yep, because of that, the Stinger right now could compete with the Guardian in terms of PvE, because PvE, the flight pattern is much more predictable. It's much easier to line up. That's the reason why I think the Stinger will kick off the Guardian from my list and end up as my combat daily driver. But the Guardian has a built-in livery, so the Stinger is like halfway. It's halfway here. But the Stinger is going to be in my collection, as in Alien collection, because I like to collect as much Alien stuff as best as I can if the price is right. Because one of the Alien ships out there that I would love to keep, unfortunately I could not because of Stinger, is the Prowler. Prowler utility in specific. Yeah. Unfortunately, because of the Stinger, the Stinger is way better than the Prowler, although the Prowler can do stealth, but the pew-pewness is... Right now, this ship is like, where do I want to put it? Yeah. Questionable. And talking about alien ship, right? So we already move away from combat in a way, because right now we are moving to collectability. So the only thing left on the list for me to collect that is alien is the attack Raylan. This ship is interesting. All right, so now we're gonna go to the alien collectability. For me, if I want to collect ships, it has to be alien, because the selection is less. All right, so the Raylan is a cargo hauler, and I think that's about it. If I want to have a cargo hauler, I don't care about the Freelancer series, I don't care about the Star Lancer nor the Haul. I will just keep to Raylan. And because of that, no, that's it. That's it. But because this ship is still in concept, so I'm going to put this at the far end here. No, actually, I don't need to put the far end. No need. I don't need. If I need a... Oh, no. I have to put at the far end first. I'm going to tell you why. Yeah, the Prowler right now is like... delete. I don't know where to fit into my fleet at the moment. It is a nice little cargo ship, right? It's you know what? I have to. Not the base. The base Prowler is a dropship. The Prowler utility is a cargo. So I'm gonna put combat daily. So it's somewhere here. This is collection. Where is my add text? All right. All right, collection. There we go. That's it. Collection. Combat daily. In fact, if I would, okay, all right, let's make a decision. If I were to choose which one to keep, combat daily, PvE, since I'm not gonna do exclusive PvP stuff, I'll keep the Stinger. Yeah, I can get rid of this guy because Zeus Mark II MR might be able to fulfill all the role that I need, and yeah, that's it. You know what? I'm gonna call this like that. Yeah, combat daily, combat only, combat. Yeah, combat daily. I'm gonna call it combat combat PvE, and then the Super Hornet can fulfill at the PvP level. There we go. Okay. So I think that's good. No, let's put this. Yeah, I'm gonna just put this PvP because in general Super Hornet is a close-up dogfighting brawler ship, so that's that. And Cutlass Raid, I'm gonna put this at the side for now. Collection, I'm gonna put Brawler Utility and Raylan. Now I'm gonna call this a utility ship, literally. And for utility ship, now we can go a little bit more larger ship in general, and that is the best utility ship that I can easily recommend, which is the Constellation Taurus. Straight up, the Constellation Taurus is technically a hauling ship, but because it's cargo bay and whatnot, it can fit an Ursa. You can carry an Ursa Medivac, so no problem over there, which is fun. And for that, because of Constellation Taurus, I technically don't really need the Raylan anymore. So that's one. But if I were to choose, I would choose the Raylan. So Constellation Taurus, I will kick it aside because if I would have to choose, okay. But let's talk about Taurus. Taurus is my go-to large multi-crew ship, right? That is still soloable, which is the best part about the Constellation Taurus, right? It is still soloable. In general, Constellation, all the Constellation series, doesn't matter which one you pick. Andromeda, Phoenix, right? Andromeda, Phoenix, Aquila. Aquila is the exploration version. For me, I choose the Constellation Taurus because it's the cheapest, and that's all you need. Really, that's all you need. Right, the closest thing that you can compete with the Constellation Taurus is the Star Lancer. And it can be any of the Star Lancer series, right? Star Lancer Max, Star Lancer Tech, and the upcoming Star Lancer build. Now, out of all the Star Lancer variant, which one would I prioritize? I would actually prioritize the Star Lancer Tech. Yes, the Max can carry more cargo. The build obviously is for building, so therefore certain things is not there. But the Star Lancer Tech has everything that you need from and more compared to the Constellation Taurus. It has enough pew pew. It has more pew pew for people who wants to carry friends along. It has a Fury hangar bay. You can use this as a pseudo actually no, you can use this as a mobile base. And it comes with, I dare say, because of that, it makes this ship complete. A medical bay. Medical bay, hangar bay for a Fury, and you have pilot control weapons. And you have extra weapons for gunner and co-pilot. So, yep. Will the Star Lancer Tech out DPS the Constellation Taurus in pilot control DPS? No, the Constellation Taurus still reigns supreme at 4 size 5 weapon hardpoint. That's right. I'm not going to go into DPS department like I said because we want to compare only weapon hardpoint, because weapon will change DPS range and whatnot. Because the old, if I were to use the old what do you call this? The old DPS sheet, size 4 to size 5, there's a huge range difference, and you can snipe with a size 4 and especially a size 5. You can snipe with a size 5, and because of that, I went for the larger size guns. Now they changed a little bit, which is also fair enough, but still larger size guns still reign supreme. And of course, with the changes, the Constellation series literally, especially the Taurus, gets all size 5. There is no mixed size 4, size 5. So this guy can literally output a huge DPS number. Okay, so right, this for just for comparison's sake, I'm just gonna bring up the attrition because I love the attritions. Okay, if I use the attritions, right, I'm outputting at least 4k 5k DPS. Crazy. And for Star Lancer Tech, obviously I only can go for the PC2 dual, right? It is a size 4, unfortunately. So attrition 4, and that's about it. So your DPS is cut down by half. Literally. Okay. No. Wait a minute. One attrition 4 is one. Okay, no. I didn't say half. Okay. I'll take it back. It's not half because it's tech. Yeah, weird. Why it says 2.5? Why? That's interesting. Is that how you calculate? No, it's one. Yeah, one each. 1,300. And then if we were to compare to the attrition 4 is 1,300, right? 1,299. 1,299 versus 1,351. Yes, because the difference between 4 and 5 is not that great. That's the reason why I don't usually like to compare in terms of DPS, because we can also switch up our DPS, right? Burst DPS 1.9 over here on paper again. And then if we will go to attrition 4 is 1.1, which also like that's like half, almost half. So because of that, I will not talk about the weapon install. I will compare about the weapon hardpoint that you can install. So in that case, the Constellation series, or rather the Constellation Taurus, will out DPS the Star Lancer tech. But if you want to go for the all-in-one Star Citizen experience, Star Lancer tech, hands down. This is the new Millennium Falcon for me. Smaller, yes. Is it Bebop? Is it Bebop enough? It's definitely a Firefly for me, for sure. So it's Millennium Falcon, Firefly. Okay, you know what? Because it can carry a Fury, I'm going to call this a Bebop worthy ship as well. So there we go. And if I were to keep I definitely want to keep one of these guys, but because I have another ship that I am aiming for, so Constellation Taurus, I will drop you because the Star Lancer tech has the medical facility has an on-board medical facility, and because of that, the colors red I can get rid as well. That's how it is. And then this can be my ultimate daily driver. This can be my ultimate daily driver if I want to. Yeah, so that's the fun bit. Now, obviously, now we move on to a little bit interesting segment, and that is the Apollo. Because I do favor in general. I'm just gonna bring out the Medivac instead, because the Medivac is white and you need the ambulance in white. Okay, so both of them almost the same size. Now, there are a few reasons why nobody likes the Apollo Medivac, or a lot of people don't like the Apollo, not the Medivac, right? Apollo in general, it's just that it became too big, way too big, right? It's supposed to be smaller. At least I would say it should be smaller than the Star Lancer tech, like significantly smaller than what we have right now, but slightly bigger than the Terrapin. I'm gonna bring out the Terrapin Medic. Okay, it should be not that big. Half, all right, half of the Apollo Medivac, right? Not Medivac. Half of the Apollo size right now, it'll be perfect, I would say, right? Perfect. And then you can reduce the bed a little bit, but because of how no, the Apollo has a lot of wasted interior space. I'm gonna say straight up, a lot of wasted space. In fact, the Terrapin also has a lot of wasted space in my opinion, but still not so bad as the Apollo. So there we go. Unfortunately, because the size of the Apollo, the only saving grace right now I would say is if you want to go more of a if you want to do more bunker FPS, okay, not bunker, you want to do more first person activity in game, then that's where the Apollo Medivac shines, right? But that is only if you want to do specifically hyper focus to only first person content, which is a shame because yes, it does pack some punch. Okay, so let's see the Apollo. I do like the Apollo, but I dropped the Apollo for one major reason, because of the size, and if I'm gonna go to that size, might as well just get a bigger ship. Yeah. Size 4, not so bad, but still, okay. And I know some people says, and I do receive some comment, which is also fair. Do you bring the Apollo for combat? Answer is no. Okay. I'm not saying who brings, right? I have the assumption whereby the Apollo is only for people who wants to do a slight simple PvE bounty hunting or mission if they want to. Okay, basically I'm saying like easy targets, right? I'm not saying that you should bring the Apollo for combat, because the Star Lancer tech is a better option. The Taurus is the best option if you want to go for large ship. And obviously, I would say go neither of them. Go for like the Stinger, Super Hornet, Zeus Mark II, Vanguard Warden, Guardian Chi, Santo. Yeah, it's not heavy. Yeah, if I want to choose, this is my go-to PVE ship straight up. All right, Stinger is a heavy, so I will definitely bring out the Stinger. Stinger is definitely smaller. And let's do one small little thing before we move away from the combat section. I want to know how. Oh no, it's straight up better. What am I talking about? It's straight up better. What about Starlands? Constellation Taurus, straight up better. The Stinger. I'm predominantly talking about the Stinger. MISC Tech, straight up better. Yeah, there's no comparison. There is no, not saying no reason. There is no. If you want to do pure PvE combat, yeah, you won't be bringing these ships out, that's for sure, right? These ships are mainly used for people who want to do a side combat activity, and especially taking out turrets from bunkers, or save defensive turrets, basically defensive turrets from bunkers or space station. Yeah, then yes, these ships have some bite compared to Terrapin. Terrapin is a hot drop. Go in, save up people, shoo fly. Starlands attack comes in, gun everyone down, and then chill at the AO. Same goes with the Apollo, just that it's less effective compared to Starlands that come in, shoot a few stuff, and then try to get people out. Okay, so that's that for the combat section. Like all this thing we don't care anymore. We're gonna leave it aside, leave it aside, leave it aside, leave it aside. F8 Lightning, love to have it, but I don't know. Yeah, I'm gonna put it aside. Unfortunately, Starlands attack Apollo Medivac will not be in my hangar, although I do like this Starlands attack, because there's only one ship that will replace these two ships, or this large size ship, and that is the Galaxy. Now, before I can say that the Galaxy will replace any of this ship, all right, so right now I'm going to put the Star Lancer in the daily driver side for now, because if I were to get the Star Lancer attack, I don't think I were going to keep the Zeus Mark II. Consider that I have two these. Actually, no, I would keep the Zeus Mark II. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to put it like this. Apollo, shoot. And because of the Galaxy, now, first thing first I need to know is, does the Galaxy have pilot control weapons? If the answer is yes, immediately this will replace the Starlands attack straight up, because the Galaxy is a modular ship. You can have medical facility, you can have cargo facility, and you can have refinery. And I do hope they make more modules for the Galaxy down the road, which is cool, right? We already have seen some modularity from the Retaliator, which is fantastic. I love it. So for now, eyes on Galaxy when it's released. Okay, that's it. So this is the only ship that will compete with the Starlands attack. And of course, if you look at the size, it's definitely much bigger. So hopefully this would fulfill the role as the Star Citizen experience. Okay. If actually no, the Galaxy needs to compete with this guy, and that's about it. I'm not going to talk about larger ships other than the Star Lancer. I could talk a little bit about Paladin. You know what? I will bring in the Paladin. So the Paladin is a nice little nifty gunship. Okay, unfortunately, the Paladin requires a crew. Definitely, you need one more co-pilot, if not a gunner, because if not, your DPS is gonna suffer a lot. However, the Paladin is a very nice combat ship, and unfortunately, like I said, because I need a co-pilot to fulfill its full DPS role, I would rather keep the Zeus Mark II for now. Yeah, even I could actually say that most likely your Quantum Dampener and EMP might be tied to only the co-pilot. But for now, we will see. We will see how this guy, what do you call this? How Zeus Mark II MR will pop up, or how they want to introduce. If not, if this guy really needs a co-pilot to activate its what do you call this? Its E-War modules. Like if I really need a co-pilot to use my EMP and quantum dampener, I would throw this guy up straight up. And then this is the only ships that I really need in general. Even this guy can just put it aside. Like I don't really need the Prowler. This is gonna be my fleet. Starter ship. Remove the Avenger Titan. These two I will keep it permanently. So because this guy has my starter pack, not just the starter pack, this will serve as a reminder for me why I pledge for Star Citizen. Same goes with the Heartseeker. Heartseeker is just for a memento for me to remember, like this is not the Heartseeker, but the Super Hornet is the first ship that got me into Star Citizen. And we have 3 ships: combat, daily driver, and then we have our utility. And of course, for those who ask, what about your side profession, like I'm gonna put this aside here. For example, you want to do salvaging. There's only a handful of stuffs. Unfortunately, salvaging, you only need voucher. Why am I spelling this terrible? Sadly, there's only one seat salvaging ship, and that is the Vulture. So we're going to put down here. For mining, you got a few choices. You can go for the Golem if you want to start something simple. If I would say go for the Prospector instead, because the Prospector is still a much better mining ship overall, although we have Fortune. Yeah. Although we have another alternative, which is Fortune. However, Fortune versus Prospector, as much as I like the auto spitting resource gimmick, but the Prospector is a much better ship in general. And I'm going to tell you why. Okay, let's go to MISC. Prospector, where are you? Prospector. Mining laser size. Really? Ore pot size 1, size 1, size 1, size 1. Did it change to size 1? It's supposed to be size. Okay, I'm gonna call this out. If this still maintains size 1, then the Fortune might be I don't remember they changed. Wow, that's bad. That's bad for me. Cooler, quantum surveyor, salvaging. Wait, is this salvaging? Oh, doyoy. Okay, I was wrong. That's why I was wondering, where did I went wrong? Vulture versus Fortune, salvaging. Ugh, most likely you'll be screaming in the comment. You know what? If that's the case, I deserve it. I deserve that. Then Golem versus Prospector. It's like, okay. Because this, yeah, I totally forgotten about it. As in the main reason. Yeah, way to go. That's a lot of ship. All right, so cool. Now we have some that we can talk about. Okay, sweet. Drake. Golem. All right, sweet. So Drake Golem has size 1 versus Prospector. I would pick up the Prospector in general because Prospector has much more ore pot, whereas the Golem does not. Where are you, ore pots? All right, 2 versus 32 SCU. Really? 8888 versus 1616. Oh boy. So why? Okay, you know what? This changes everything. Mining ship, Golem. Shoo, Prospector. It's just way too expensive to spend with real money. Alright. Wow, no, I got it so wrong. Okay, Golem for mining. Vulture versus Fortune. Okay. Because I remember the fortune is size 1 salvaging. Yeah, salvaging hit. And then the voucher is size 2. And I did say, now I remember. Okay, because I did say that the voucher is great when you're salvaging, if you're going for quality over quantity. And for fortune is you're going quantity over quality due to its auto spitting mechanic. Yeah. And then of course if you go for a challenge, technically the voucher can perform as good as the fortune in terms of the multitask, I would say. Salvaging arm, there we go. Size 2 versus size 1. Yeah, so voucher is basically you want to go for speed. Go in, grab as much loot as you can, GTFO. Whereas the fortune, you got all the time in the world, just chill and just salvage. In this case, you know what? Because I play EVE online, I will pick the voucher. And guess what? Both ship is Drake. Shoo! Shoo! Yeah, I mean, Fortune and Prospector is still a good alternative, but actually it's Voucher versus Fortune. Prospector versus Golem is too expensive, so I'm gonna throw this aside. So yeah, Voucher I would say in between in between two, but because I play EVE Online, you know what? Voucher. Oh boy, I did got mixed up. Oh, there we go. Salvaging, mining, cargo hauling, in a sense, right? In the sense. Daily driver that can do almost everything. Basically, jack of all trades. Plus, there's a medical bay, which is great. Combat, PvE only. PvP, sure. We have the Super Hornet over here. And that's it. Yeah. You know what? I'm going to ignore the top. Yeah, I'm going to put something like that. Because if I don't care about the starter ship, because at this moment, if you're gonna buy all this ship with real money, you're gonna hit concierge level. If you're gonna buy with sticker price, the answer is don't buy with sticker price. So you still need a starter pack somewhere. Okay, so because of that, that would be my final fleet. This would be my fleet, although this is not the final list of fleet because I have other larger ships that I want to keep, but I'm not going to talk about it. So there you go. All right, and of course, closing note, do not buy any of this ship with sticker price. If you want to spend with real money, get Warborn upgrade. For example, Stinger is the best example that I can do right now. So if you want to get a Stinger, I can get it with way cheaper price tag. For example, I can get the gray market shift. Oh, yeah, let's go to Stinger first. Okay, so all I need to do is, rather than buy any of this ship outright, I'm gonna go to upgrade. Grab an upgrade. You can get it for 290, which is surprisingly a cheap ship. Okay, surprisingly. Grab the next closest thing. I would like to grab, let's see, Paladin. Oh no, I cannot grab Paladin. No, I cannot grab Paladin. Alright, so I'm gonna grab the blade for funsies. Alright, so that's $15. But since we don't, yeah, no, grab the blade. But for present, for calculation sake, I'm not gonna grab the blade. I'm gonna grab the closest thing that we have on sale right now. Personally, you want to grab the blade and then blade to something else. Okay, that's how it is. You can grab directly to shift. Where are you? 150. 150. Where is the shift? No. No. No gray market. No. Yeah, there we go. Impossible. $140. Add to cart. And then next up, you're gonna upgrade again. Okay, cool. We're gonna leave it be. We're gonna grab the, yeah, the Paladin's 350. Oh, okay. You know what? I can grab. Yes. Okay, so now we can see how much you need to pay if you want to grab a Paladin. Sweet. All right, upgrade. Last one, I would go for, we have the shift, right? Oh, cancel. Reverse 150. Unfortunately, we don't have an LTI ship that we can upgrade to, which is a pain. But for the sake of calculation, let's go for Aurora MR. Okay, add to cart. And last but not least, you need to get at least, no, we don't need the Aurora MR. For now, we can do a quick, because Aurora MR is about 20, was it $30? We're gonna use the base starter pack at, oh, actually no. What I can do is the other way around. All right, no. I can do the other way around. Close this guy. We can grab the starter pack, and then we can calculate from there as well. Nice. All right, cool. So that would be the end for the video. Yes, this is going to be a long video for those who reach to this end. I'm going to say thank you for tuning in. All right, don't forget to like, subscribe, and help this channel grow. I'm aiming for 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. And this video is sponsored by me or by the subscribe button. Yeah, excellent. Okay, where are you, Avenger Titan? $50. No, $60. Avenger Titan has went up in price. Last time I see, not say last time I seen it. Need to always remember it went up in price. Avenger Titan. Add to cart. Then now I can go to the game package and add this guy to cart. Add to cart. Okay, now we can go to checkout. 281. Oh, there we go. We got a sweet price tag. The sweet price tag. All right. So we have the Avenger Titan to shift, and then shift to Stinger to Paladin, and it's only $281.25. Awesome. That is to the Paladin at $350. I remove the Paladin. Stinger is the price to beat for the Stinger is $290. That is excluding, oh no, okay, $290 because we have a game pack as well, so fair enough. We are paying only $271.25, and that is inclusive of the starter pack packages. So fantastic. Yeah, definitely cheaper than what I am paying. Sad part is it is not LTI because the starter pack is not lifetime insurance, but I would say don't bother too much. Don't get too hung up with LTI, although I would love to have it, right? That's for me a requirement to get LTI. All right, remove the Stinger. How much do I need to pay for the shift? $131. Still cheaper than $150 sticker price, okay? The only downside, or not say downside, because this is just a quick showcase of how you can get cheaper ships, I can guarantee you, grab something that is, normally what I do is I'll do this, right? What I will do, instead of doing such a simple way, sadly, we're going to do a little bit more logistics and spreadsheet hunting. I'm going to do something like this. Shift and then grab the cheapest upgrade to. So for in this case, I'm going to grab the F7C Hornet Mark 1, $10 difference. Now all I need to do is I want to get a ship in between something to the F7C Hornet. If I can get another Warborn upgrade in between, I get my ship even cheaper. The downside is, or rather this is a long game. Yeah, the downside is this is a long game, which I will recover this. I would also will do another PSA when anniversary sale is up, especially the Warborn daily deals, because you want to stock up as much of all this upgrade offer. And after the anniversary sale, I would dare say all you need is 2 anniversary sale plus maybe an Invictus launch rig here and there. You can get much cheaper ship with lifetime insurance. That's how awesome it is, okay? That means I can get my Star Lancer tag way below the sticker price, the Stinger already way below the sticker price. So with that, I'm gonna end with this. If you want to spend with real money, please do this route. Buy the war bond upgrade. Do not even bother with buying it with retail price, because that's just no. CIG has already raised a lot of money. As much as you want to buy it with sticker price, I would not recommend to do so. And that's it. That's all I have for you for today. Again, don't forget to like, subscribe, and help this channel grow. Until then, I would see you in the verse, and fly dangerous. Yeah. Wow. Wow. This video is long. I have to admit, this video is long. Alright, see ya, my friends.